Hello my troglodyte tribe and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at Fleetwood Mac's Man of the World, but this time arranged for a single guitar. This song has got multiple guitars all the way throughout, but often if I'm playing this song I can be the only guitarist in the group. So what I've had to do is try and merge what I think are the most important parts together to get the essence of the song across, and I'll be taking you through that arrangement today. I have made a video where I play this song from start to finish without stopping with this arrangement. I believe there should be a link on the screen now if you'd like to see that. In this video though, I'm going to be stopping and starting and taking us through the different decisions I took and why and how we play those parts. So we're going to start with the D chord. With the little finger on the 5th fret, pulling out the melody, moving to the 3rd, then you've got the note on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 2nd. So it sounds like this. What I'm doing with my right hand is I've got the plectrum, but I've also used my other fingers to sort of gently pull at the strings. Then we move up to the A chord. There's a couple of different schools of thought on how you can do this. Some people do a barred A with the little finger pulling out that top A on the 5th fret, but what I like to do is actually play the A at the 5th fret. And that means I've got my little finger free, ready to drop this F sharp note on. And then it moves to a G minor chord, and then with the little finger dropping the A note on the top again, and then back to the D. Now throughout the track he ends a lot of the phrases on that D. Now there's some sort of pattern that he plays and it changes throughout, so what I like to do is just to keep the D alive by playing some sort of random trickles forward with it. That sort of thing, but it'll be different every time I do it. So I'll just play that opening phrase again. And then he plays it the second time, but it ends slightly different the second time round. Okay, so this time it's the D again at the start, then to the A as before, but this time it's the E minor, and then the notes I'm pulling out with my little finger are on the top E string again, the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret, and then the open. Then I'm playing a B minor, but I'm doing the B minor up here at the 7th fret. Because the next phrase is the 9th fret on the D string, then it's the 9th fret on the A string, down to the D note which is on the 5th fret of the A string, and then a slide up to the 9th fret, and then do the low B note which is on the 7th fret on the low E string. So that lick goes. So from the start we have got and now we're at verse 1. Verse 1 is exactly the same all the way through, apart from that little lick at the end. So what I'll do is I'll just play through verse 1, exactly the same as I've done before, and then I'll stop it just as it changes towards the end. Shall I tell you about my mind? Let's say I'm So now we're on that B minor, which is slightly different. So you pull out the D note, which is on the G string on the 7th fret twice. Then it's a full bend from the G string on the 9th fret. Pull off to the D, which is on the 7th fret. Down a string to the D string on the 9th fret. And then you're up to the top D note, which is the 10th fret on the top E string. So that goes. And then we've got this D riff which comes into the track 3 different times throughout the song. So that's your D shape down at the 2nd fret, and we're going to be lifting off the F sharp note on the top E string and then putting it back on. And so that sounds like this. Now we've got this acoustic guitar which comes in, and again playing around with the D shape. What I like to do is I tend to slightly palm mute this just so that it sounds different to all the other guitar parts I've been playing. So again with the D shape I'm doing the B string on the 3rd fret, then the G string on the 2nd fret, then back to the 3rd fret on the B string, then up to the 5th fret on the top E, and then to the 3rd fret on the top E, and then just sort of twiddle with the little finger between 2 and 3 on the top E, and then just playing down on the rest of the D chord then on the 3rd fret on the B string, and then the 2nd fret on the G string. So it sounds like this. That only happens once in the song, and then it moves on to verse 2. Now verse 2 is very much the same as verse 1, except there's a slight change again at that end B minor. So I'll just play through to there. So the big difference there really is on the E minor, he's just being a bit more dramatic. Then to the B minor. And then it's a bend from the top E string from the 12th fret. And then it's to the E itself on the top E string on the 12th fret. Then the D note on the 10th fret. So that last section goes. Just play that along. And now we're back to this D riff that we did earlier on. Now it's the solo. So I believe that he does this on the top couple of strings around the 2nd to the 5th fret. But to make this a little bit thicker sounding, I'm actually going to drop it down a string and move it up the neck, as I'm basing this for the only guitarist in the group. So I'm starting it on the B string on the 10th fret. So I'll play that with him. Now the next one is, which is on the G string, on the 7, and then he pulls out the B flat note there on the D string. So that solo altogether so far is. Now then the second half of the solo, it goes up. So we start on the A note on the top E string and slide all the way to the A note on the 17th fret. So that last section goes. Now there is a sort of a slide and some other notes going on because of some guitars interweaving here. But again, we're focusing on being able to do this for a single guitarist. So I'm going to ignore that last sort of couple of notes of slide and get ready for my F sharp that's coming next. So we'll play the solo through its entirety and then move to the middle 8. And you can see there, what I'm doing is I'm sort of filling in that sound, getting it ready for the rest of the band to do some fills, so I can move to that middle 8. Now it's the F sharp minor. And then he's got sort of a bit of a solo guitar going on top. So what we're going to be doing here is bouncing between two very different guitar parts. F sharp minor chord doing, and the lead guitar going. Now, I don't want to hold that end note too long because I want to get back and sort of fill in that rhythm section at the same time. So let's see how that goes. Now here, the second chord is E minor. Now, the phrase he's doing afterwards, but I don't want to jump all the way up there because it thins out the sound too much as a solo guitar. So I'm just going to do that an octave lower, which is, and again surround that with the E minor chord, so it's, so I'm starting with the E minor chord, I'm letting it ring as much as possible without it sounding too messy, and then trying to get back to the E minor chord before I move to the F minor again. So the F minor the second time round is, that's slightly different towards the end. What I actually like to do is bend. I believe he slides, but I prefer the sound of the bend on this for the one guitar. I just think it's got a little bit more aggression and power as it's the only guitarist trying to cover all the parts. Now that whole section ends on the E minor, but there's no high run, and then it just goes to a gentle A. And at this point I try and reach for my pickup and change it back for my warmer, richer sound, and then pull my playing style right back, because that aggression is now gone and we're going back into that mellow feel that we had at the start. So I'll play that middle 8 all the way through. And now we're back into the verse type playing, which is around that D chord again. I could tell you about my So that whole section, again, is very much like the first verse. So we've got the ending with a, and then to the riff on the D for the last time. And now we've got this outro, and I'm moving again to my back pickup, not because I want it to be trashier, but actually I want it to be thinner and sweeter because we're going to be playing a little bit on the harmonics. The outro is based around the same chords as the middle 8, which is the F sharp minor and the E minor, but this time we're going to play it much higher on the neck. And you can hear that it's kind of eerie and relaxed. So what I'm doing is on the top 3 strings is I'm just outlining that F sharp minor chord and using my little finger on the 12th fret to start a bit of a run down. And the next chord is the E minor. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing the E minor with just 2 fingers on the fretboard, which is on the A string at fret 14 and the D string at fret 14, and I'm letting the others ring open. And then I'm using my first finger to touch the harmonics on the 12th. So that goes. And then back to the F sharp minor, but with a slightly altered twiddle on the top. So again, it's just around the F sharp minor chord. And then back to this E minor. And then for the big finale, which is actually the harmonics on the 7th fret across the top few strings. So to play that outro all together, there we go, Man of the World for one guitar. Thank you for joining us at Troglodyte Music for looking at Fleetwood Mac's Man of the World. If you like this or you'd like to see more videos like this, then just click like and subscribe. If you've got suggestions on other songs you'd like to see me work out, please just leave them in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. Thank you, I'll see you soon.